sight, I consider you a poet tonight. So all my poets holler, right on. Right on. As a poet writes on, right on. I can dig it. The globe is warming. The poles are shifting. The magnetic field is weakened daily. The food they feed us is really a maybe. Everywhere I look, I see babies raising babies, but because I speak my mind, you want to call me crazy? Organic, non-organic. Don't they both come from dirt? I'm tripping off seedless fruit. Don't that shit come from a seed first? Black lives matter. Sure, as soon as you remember black worth. Because it's the black man, not the white man, that makes you lock your door and clench your purse. But it's the white man, not the black man, that initializes genocidal curse. But you won't put it in reverse, spending your money with the black man instead of the white man first. I think I understand what they mean when they say the truth hurts. All my poets holler, right on. Right on. As a true poet writes on. And we into the show, y'all. Y'all ready?
Good evening. I will try to live up to at least half of that he did. As he said, my name is Thomas Martin Hanks, and I am an actor, not a poet. And I want to apologize in advance because I'm only half here. We're currently, with Bray Films, we're shooting a new movie. It's called Joint Custody. And we just came, I say we, I just came from a rehearsal. I'm the majestic we. Okay, back to what we're here for. This first piece is entitled, What's Being Said. How do we reveal our story and not reveal more than needs be told? How do we hold your attention if we're afraid to reveal our own soul? When we strip away the layers and finally get down to me, we're so afraid of what we find there. There's a multitude to see. Some shrink back in fear when we say Legion is our name. Seems to be an old story about swine, but we're not one and the same. For our many has one source, they all flow from me. The other was spawned by Lucifer, so the difference should be plain to see. Though we both came from heaven above, his legion brings destruction while mine shares love. When I am we, we're only sharing things straight from our heart, using small slices and slivers of our own life, trying to conceal the too intimate parts. But if I am to share with you what's being said, we must show no fear as you peek inside our head. You see, we're better than an open book that no one will read. We're a Pied Piper on your eardrums where we've planted a seed. As we dance across your mind's eye, there's an unknown cadence that begins taking sway. So even when the words make no sense, you still understand what they say. There was a man who went up the hill to find a wife, and when they created life, and through the ups and downs, the highs and lows, life caught up with them, and they just kept on living. What's being said? We never know when it's our time to go, short or long, right or wrong. While you worry that life's not fair, soon it's not there. What's being said? My life? I don't know. My wife, I don't know. Why strife? I don't know. And afterlife, I don't know. We have to live this one to see if there's another show. What's being said? This next piece is one of the few lies that I wrote. It's entitled A Message from the Master. This one isn't about me. We wrote it as a favor. Simply held on to the pen while you spilled out your flavor. I've got to stop these lies from spreading. Got everyone waiting on a savior. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow's not here. Today you waver. My story is known to you, it's not a new one. But after we share it with you, you'll see that it is a true one. There's been only one beginning, and it started not with a bang. It started when first I opened my mouth to sing. My singing woke the darkness and cast it apart, spread note by note, pouring from my heart. From nothing I created everything that you see. All of heaven above, below, the land and seas. I alone created it all, gave it rhyme and reason. Placed the sun in the sky to track the changing seasons. All the creatures paired up right from the start. Now with the man by my side, I let him play his part. Each plant and animal I let him name. The animals came in twos, both different, even while being the same. At the end of the naming, he noticed that he was only one, not two. And his face showed there was something he thought I'd forgotten to do. But I quieted his mind and laid him down for a short nap. Imagined his own rib now sitting in his lap. I sang a new song full of love and desire. Woman was not an afterthought. I'd always known she would only take man higher. But what's a love story without a twist? That's how the serpent became mixed up in this. He was the bright shining star, full of glory and beautiful to behold. But he loved himself overmuch, and soon corruption filled his soul. He convinced 1/3 of the heavenly host to believe in his lies, promised them glory and power, and said surely they would never die. Enticed the woman to eat from the forbidden fruit, knowing full well that the man would follow suit. He carried out his plans, not seeing any way they could fail. It never crossed his mind that he would end up in hell. For now he was in power. The woman and man had been tossed from the garden. Little did he know that grace and glory had already been commissioned for their pardon. It was in his own thoughts where he first placed himself above the Most High, called himself Alpha Omega. I am that I am, it's I who rules the sky. Now he and his first third plus all those who follow can't hear or see God with false hearts so hollow. What comes from our mouth must flow from our heart, and once it's filled with an agape love, that's just the start. A new jump off point in this journey we label as life, more than a burden bearer or remover of strife. Remember, my way is easy and the burden is light. But I never said that there would be no fight. The battle has been fought and the victory won. But each individual story is still left undone. Thank you.
All right, so my first poem here, and these are short, so I think you'll like it. Because if you hate the poem, we're just on to the next one. All right, okay. Let's start out with something positive. She's not a mere girl. She knows what she wants. She knows her elegance, she knows her intelligence, and she knows her power. Walking into the room, she draws the attention with her mere presence. A gold woman, shining and glowing. Her warmth and love shining, emitting through her carbon-based body. Carbon, the basis and essence of a diamond, hardest substance. Can cut through glass with all of her class, yet holding the light, the fire of her soul, burning bright, shining bright, keeping her aglow and everyone around her. I kind of like this microphone situation. I feel like I sound a little sexy. Hello, baby darlings. Are y'all doing all right out there? Y'all awake? All right, y'all. Okay, I am a lady. My genders are she and her, okay? So I'm writing from a she and a her perspective, and I don't mean that as any disrespect to anybody, but I'm just saying that some of these poems, and I'm talking about this, it's just because that's how I identify. So, this one's called Dear Men. No, you don't, it's not an uh-oh. This is a learning opportunity. This is a lesson. It's an uh-oh if you don't listen to the poem, okay? All right. Dear men, tend the garden. Take heed to water her well, pulling the weeds. Deadhead on occasion. Daily attention is required to get the maximum bloom. Moisture, heat, perfect growing conditions. Water the garden well, water that garden well and it will bloom. Rewarding you, thank you ladies, with bloom after bloom after bloom. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I like the blooms. Look for the signs though. Are the leaves getting droopy? Is there root rot? Keep that garden weed free, for if you don't, the weeds will start to creep in. They will start to choke the blooms. The blooms will fade. Another gardener might see the potential of this garden. Another gardener might come in and take care of things that you should have, that you clearly don't see any longer, and bring that garden back to life. On time here, Victor, so when you need to do this to me, do this. I got one more poem. Wow. See, I didn't think I was going to have 10 to 12 minutes of something. All right. You guys, what kind of poem you want? You want a poem? I got this poem. Okay, it's a real good one. This one scared a man recently. Yeah, he told me that he thought that I was having too much feelings and he wanted to put me in the friend zone. Yeah, because I wrote him this. So ladies, men too, if you want to. If you need someone out of your bed and out of your life, give them this poem. Guaranteed, 100%. All right. I can't sleep at all. Reaching over to touch your face, touch your hand, touch your leg, touch your back and your shoulders, feeling your legs under mine. The softness of your hair on the back of your neck. It's a nighttime spell. The excitement of being in the same bed with you is too much. My brain stays wired on dopamine, wired on touch, wired on oxytocin, wired on all of the feel-good, wired on you. This feels too good to be true, and if I fall asleep, I'll miss the moment. So I listen to you sleep, I look at you, trying to memorize your face. Like a child excited for Christmas morning and able to sleep, resisting the urge to touch you for fear of waking you up from your deep slumber. The excitement of sharing this bed, sharing this moment, sharing this space, seeing your face. Thank you very much.
I love poetry, but this is my first time where I get to drop some lines in front of people live, so let me take you on a journey and I promise we'll be fine. Okay. For those who don't know me or never noticed me thinking, who is this guy here doing poetry? I am Callie T. So nice I've said it 2 times. I ain't here to be super deep, I just want to kick you a few rhymes. Welcome you to the thoughts in my head, to how I was taught and bred. For a time such as this, the lines on the dish, me and the mic a perfect pair like white wine with some fish. Be sure to clean your plate, don't be leaving a mess. What I'm serving is fresh, known to intrigue and impress. Known to make the ladies' heartbeats and the fellas feel pride. But I got a girl, so I tell the world, if it's in my DMs, don't slide. I'm not known for no perfection, just my own self-reflection that provides a deep perspective to help each to get the message. Message! Your talents are for you to hope. Life's balance, so we can cope while we're hanging on by a rope. Hanging on by a thread. Making changes to get ahead, praying, dear God, all I ask is you let me live before I'm dead. My mind turns as time burns, the clock is racing my dreams. I'm chasing the same thing, so every foot is a win for me. Every feet is a win for me. Every fell I fall forward. For them to think it was meant to be, since my dream's what I fell toward. You know, when they tell my story, the day I have gone on to glory, I want them to say he won his race and he showed his passion with poetry. Thank you. Appreciate the love, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good night. I've got 2 more poems for y'all that I've done. The first one is a picture's worth. If I can't find the right words to express how I'm feeling, I have to paint a picture, one worthy of praise. I gotta be careful of how I depict her. But she is my fine wine, getting better with time. And she's 100 like moonshine, that's why I love that she's mine. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what do I get when I picture you? because I don't know if I have all the words to give credit where it's due. I think about the bitter days when I just wanted better ways to express myself and protect my health from the ego that exists in the midst of my home, from someone I said I loved but couldn't stand to be alone with. Apologies for my reflex, it's just I was taught only men made the mistakes. That's how my sisters were taught. About the big lie. The reason all relationships fail is because he didn't try, or he probably lied, cheated, didn't pay his tithes. He must have flipped because once he was this incredible guy, next minute he's Satan. You deserve better, it's blatant. One of the sisters swears as she clicks her nails and whips her hair. Yeah, I never wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the guy my girl could brag about, the one she could admire, but instead it went the classic route. And now I'm feeling crazy because I want to do it again. Is it your mustard seed of faith got me thinking I can move a mountain? Girl, stop playing with me. Because when you laying with me, time melts away along with my fears. And you inspire me to be a better man in the mirror. You encourage me relentlessly. Plus the courtesy you give to me, you really have my best interest at heart. And I'm used to wanting to be used. I said that from the start. But you showed me something I should have always been shown. But without my past, how could I have known? How amazing you are, how special you must be, how much work it took and takes to be that girl for me. So this is what it's like, you being my light, burning bright and giving warmth through the night. I promise that I'll fuel you daily, so keep burning from me. And I said fuel, not fool, because school is out, but you like learning, I see. That's why we'll be fine. I learn from you, you study me. Both of us teach, meanwhile none of us preach. With a little faith and effort, who knows what heights we can reach. Because you and I and you, I think it's time we made we. Because every time I see your pretty face, I see family. Thank you. Shout out to Hurricane Jane. I don't know where she's at.
Oh, right here.
There you go. Shout out to Hurricane Jane. I had no idea you had that poem about the garden. I love that. I'm going right after you because this next one is called My Seed. I want to plant my seeds in your soil. Say you'll stay down and you'll always be loyal. Because I want to plant my roots here. And let me be too clear. I've had to uproot too many times because I ignored the red flags and too many signs. I thought death couldn't visit my garden. I ain't no pharaoh, but my heart was hardened. And I ain't have no blood on my door. How I was so blind, I still can't be sure. One thing I can be sure of, I do love you. I want to plant my seeds where they can grow forever and never have to be moved. I want the roots to go deep, deep down to the darkest, coldest spots. I don't want to hold back, and I don't want no second thoughts. I don't want ego getting in the way, no rocks in your soil. I want good ground that's watered daily, so I can grow good fruit that don't spoil. I want to plant my compliment seeds so you can have a meal since you my snack. I know you love words of affirmation, so what you eat today, I'll grow right back. I want to plant my support seeds so you have shade in the summer when it's hot. Or if it's winter, I'm an evergreen. Your support tree will never rot. I want to plant some seeds of finance because they'll grow to be cherry bushes. I think you deserve the cherry on top because even if I didn't have it, you'd still be looking. I want to plant my seeds of dedication because they'll grow to be beautiful roses. So you can have something as beautiful to look at as I do. You got it, girl, so own it. I want you to appreciate the garden I've grown and all I do because there's a deeper message here. The only difference between soil and soul is you. So can I plant my seeds, my dear?
But I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and hopefully I don't cry. I am a survivor from 13 years of domestic violence. So this one's called Powerful Flower. My power, your power, should wind and bind. Our core, each vertebrae, one to another. Supporters in the eye of a hurricane, with our feet on the floor and our heads held up tall. It's not crunches and planks that strengthen, but our power, that delicate flower that craves light and laughter, love and trust, to burst into life keep us upright, and hold us tight. How we collapse when it's taken away. It's okay to have an International Day month, but it doesn't tell of the persuasion and invasion of our minds. The abuse has its roots, and in the misuse of power, how almost brilliantly it steals our dignity. So we are seduced by the overuse of chivalry that almost instantly turns into misery. A symphony of rhythm and blues. First comes isolation, separation from everyone and everything that could have saved us. What was once rotation and affirmation, a celebration of love, of our aspiration and articulation of their adoration, turned sour as they carefully reached inside and take that power. Frustration, allegation, any rational conversation, then escalation. And our blood on the petals of my flower, how detrimental, how viciously the simplicity of love changes to toxicity. And rapidly, after isolation comes conditioning, the partitioning of our rational minds. They will refute any dispute, however acute, and swear our blood has leaked by accident. Even in the ambulance, they tell a story, confused and bruised, excusing the accused, and we say, no, I have not been abused. Slip and slide into slip and slide into ruination. Life once stressful, altercation, aggravation, as we lose hope of liberation because we gave them that flower to devour. The infantry of bigotry attacks our dignity. An incantation of decimation assaults our whole because that's the goal, the control over our soul. Protect your power, water it, nurture it, grow it to fullness, give a different gift. Your power, that's yours, that is your core. Not for International Day or month, but every day. And never ever give it away. All right. This next one is called Love Language. If I'm honest with you, I want to take you with the most advantage. I want to be through every part of you. And I hope I don't sound too mannish, but I just want to speak your love language. And if your love language is music, I would use it as a means to get you through it. Let me pull at your heartstrings and feel the bravado in your fears. Use clef notes to wipe away your tears. And be your favorite song I compose to help you heal. I would listen to your heartbeat as if in sync with the metronome. And if love language was music, baby, this would be your love song. I mean, what I say, I want to take you with the most advantage, knowing every part of you. If you told me that poetry was the language you spit, I would write a poem every day reminding you how you are my gift. I would write every word and keep them just for you. And if poetry was your love language, then baby, me too. How you mold and motivate me, hold me. How you enter a room looking all Billy D and Lady Sings the Blues. I want to take you with the most advantage, and I want to know every part of you. And if I'm not sounding too mannish, baby, let me be your love language.
Even her scars lost count of the number of times she cut her fingers picking up the pieces of her shattered heart. When your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, so his blows to her head felt like credits after the movie they read, titled, "And You Did This to Me Because..." Director, victimization of the vulnerability needed to love. Produced by misery and misuse. Categorized in a genre of trauma and abuse. Broken expectations casted and supported by multiple distortions of the truth. Even her scars lost count of the number of times she cut her fingers picking up the pieces of her shattered heart. Still somehow, she found herself starring in this role of a broken promise. Somehow, as pain shot through every part of her body, so did numbness. Somehow, emotional detachment was fashionably matched with makeup over black eyes and bruised patches. Somehow, sleeves that couldn't cover feelings hid handprints and scratches. She cried her love could fuel him to eternity. Instead, all his behavior did was light matches. Even her scars lost count of the number of times she cut her fingers picking up the pieces of her shattered heart. She was too intelligent to remain in this position, but not intelligent enough to find a ceasefire to the repetition. She was laid docile at this decision. Silently, she bandages her fingers while putting together jagged, blood-stained bits of self-esteem. Her every step artistically shows a misused mosaic of a queen. Each swing solidifying the nightmare, but she rationalizes it as still living a dream. Each swing destroyed more of her, reinforced by every word, replacing fear and manipulation for worth. Sickening how many times she heard, "I didn't mean to do what I do. I'm sorry, boo. You know I need and love you." Even her scars lost count of the number of times she cut her fingers picking up the pieces of her shattered heart. 27. Though she lost count, empathy poured from my soul and wouldn't allow me to break my gaze. Sincerely, praying for forgiveness every time I rose my voice at a woman if it helped normalize or promote this phase. I prayed 27 prayers for peace, power, and protection. A love for her that doesn't use words as weapons and sees flaws as human but commitment as perfection. I spent 27 poems because her strength to seek help and heal herself, that's birth, that's 9. Rehabilitation's trinity is truth, trust, and time. 3 times 9 is 27, so I grab her hand and draw the word angel with my lips like a finger through the sand. Girl, you are heaven. For every fearful moment he made you invest. You deserve 10 times that in the blessings you will manifest. Even though her scars lost count of the number of times she cut her fingers picking up the pieces of her shattered heart, I remind her as they fade. Like this piece, not to frivolously take her back to those days, for she is so much more than just a victim or the after effect of trauma and rage. This is to celebrate her courage and fortitude to turn the page. How she cleared her aura like 1,000 bundles of sage and reclaimed the power to create the magic that life incubates like the night sky, speckled with stars. When I gaze upon her, what I see is a masterful mosaic of scars.
When she says, "I love you too," I know she's not talking about Bono. Or our mutual affection for the 21st letter of the alphabet. No, we are both W lovers. What? She is telling me in no uncertain terms that she loves me as much and as deeply as I love her. And it's the most beautiful lie. Because yes, I have seen her cry and smile. I have heard her laugh after the most painful rendition of R.E.S.P.E.C.T. was sung into a hairbrush. But she has never said, "I love you." And the sad truth is she never will. She cannot say those words without the number for the ending because you were the one who said them to her at her tragic beginning. You were supposed to be the mark that all men in her life must meet. Instead, you were the man who left the marks on her skin that you beat. You never gave a single reason, and she was too scared to ask why. To her heart's belief, you committed treason and ripped her innocence out by penetrating her inside. You would finish after a while and give a sweaty gap-toothed grin where she became the broken woman wearing the precious girl's used skin. And at your funeral, she didn't say goodbye or burn well. You see, She was too busy trying to define her own hell. Living in the shadow of a man that only she really knew, trying to figure out what you had turned her into. She came to the conclusion that giving up let you win, and she just wasn't going to let that happen. And I'll never forget the day I told her, I think I love you. A tear in her eye and her hand in mine, she felt the words in her throat and believed it was finally time. But the definition of love is something, thanks to you, she never knew. So she put her whole heart into repeating, I think I love you, too. And let me tell you, man, it ain't easy. When she forgets that you're not there or thinks that you're me. Some nights are hard and some days are harder, and I've had to learn to be okay with never being a father. Because to her, that title is something only monsters are entitled to. But I love it when she lip syncs with Aretha or cuddles with me and makes me her heater. And so I will take whatever form of love she can give me, because losing her, it just ain't in me. And when she says, I love you too, I can tell that she wants it to be true. So I let her lie and I let it lift me almost as high as it does when she kisses me. So I'm standing here, looking down at your tombstone, saying that fear of you is something that she's outgrown. You tried to make her feel like nothing, now she's everything without you. How could you have done what you did? You made her your punching bag when she was born to be your kid. I guess it's not important, and I will never know. And I hope it burns you up inside to see how well she's grown, but I gotta tell you the God's honest truth. It kills me to know you're the only one she's ever said, I love you too. When she prays for you every night like she's forgiven you. So if she can, then I must as well. I mean, even money says you're burning in hell. So I guess it all worked out in the end. A demon sent to hell gave me an angel heaven sent. You yelled at her and beat her to make her feel worthless, but in that, she found her purpose. To be better than what you thought she could do. So I need to tell you something I'm pretty sure you never knew. Even after all the things you put her through. When she says I love you, that's for me. Though she somehow still loves you, too. Thank you. This next piece is called Return to Sender. I spent 2 weeks memorizing it, but if that dreaded fuck reads off his phone, so can I. Dear tough guys, happiness may indeed be a warm gun, but love is a golden one. The golden gun. And contrary to late 90s belief, you don't need to know a secret path in order to partake. You just have to make sure that every step you take is with purpose, and even if it hurts, just remember that there are arms that will wrap around you like a hammock on a warm summer's day. There are lips. When touched to a part of your skin will take your pain away. There is a voice that will sing to you the most beautiful song you've ever heard and title it You're Okay. Because it's okay. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not want to be in the crowd and just be alone a little. For you are a masterpiece of your own creation, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that at some point in the delivery of you, from where you were made to where you are now, the handle with care sticker got met with hesitation. The fragile notice on your skin got lost in translation, and you became all too familiar with the sensation of not being wanted, of not being enough, of not being sought after, of not being tough, and I am sorry. Sorry that in today's society you have been typecasted. Typecasted into being the protector, the defender, the breadwinner. You were typecasted into being a pretender. The world's greatest actor. The world's saddest clown. Only to see the same world that placed those expectations on you has no problems letting you down. Dear manly men, let the world's expectations of you rip and fade away. Drop your guard. Take off your mask. Unpack that baggage marked to the grave. Being happy is something as a man I had to get used to. So believe me when I tell you there are perks to being the little spoon. There is a stillness in laying in bed with the person you love until noon. There is a peace in not having to be the loudest, biggest dog in the room. There is a reason that Egyptian gods made room for others in their tomb. You are not betraying some bullshit sacred code that was ironed into your DNA if you have the audacity to tell your male friends to have a nice day. You are not betraying your manhood when you claim to love another man. You are betraying your manhood every time you refuse to take a stand. You say, that's my dude, that's my dog, that's my boy, that's my brother. But when it comes time to claim him, you act like he's just any other. You motherfucker. You perpetuate the cycle where you are both victor and victim. You refuse to step outside yourself and see not only is he family, but you picked him. You are a symptom of a much larger disease. Dear hard thugs, learn to be soft. A little at a time or all at once. And you will be amazed to see all those other tough guys with fragile fronts. All those scared boys who quickly had to become something they were never taught. All those regretful customers who didn't realize it was loneliness they bought. For it was sold to them with a big dick, a thick chick, and a smile. All the while, it conditioned you to a life you now feel you were forced into. You feel in order to be a man, you have to be cold. Because how can you show emotions you never learned how to control? Being an island is a life sentence, so consider this your parole. There is a life outside your perception, and it can save your soul. I know. Dear tough guys, dear manly men, better yet, dear broken boys, you have a value you were never shown. You have a uniqueness. You are not alone. You are enough, and we love you. Thank you.
Repeat after me. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Spit, poet.
Spit, poet. Hey, man, feel free to do any of that while I'm up here, all right? All right, man, let's get this thing going. Everybody repeat after me. I'm in my bag.
I'm in my bag.
Damn, y'all bag? Well, let me get in my bag, too. I think I'm going to go with the love bag tonight. She was so gutter, so gangster. And I really like that shit. But, you know, I'm a poet, so I kind of give her that romantic shit. She wasn't feeling it. See, I had to learn that not every woman wants a love song. Some women live for aggression. So next time I saw her, I simply said, I want to fuck the shit out you. I'm talking deep boning, long stroking for the fluff of that ass while I caress the shit out you. Forget the games of exotic foreplay. The only thing I know how to do right now is go in and out you. Yes, my name is Bleak over and over while I slap that ass and talk about the day your lion got tamed. And I call you a lion because them lips too fat to be a pussycat. I don't need your help throwing it back. Just give me that arch, my vice grip on your waist will handle all of that. Sometimes I feel like I'm touching your throat when I'm hitting from the back. Better yet, turn around, give me one leg up, I'll go ride your whip, sitting my tip through your hips. And I don't care if you come or squirt, I don't care if you come or squirt, I don't care if you come or squirt all over me several times. Till I say I'm done, stay focused for the next exercise. Funny thing is, I wanted us to be more than this, but bad boys seem to be all they get to hit. So let me fuck the shit out you so you can see what you miss. Let the pounding of our skin be the only music playing till you feel every inch. I want to feel the bottom of your floor from the top of your bed, and as I start to come, I keep our theories of me and you inside my head. Now you may be dismissed. Let's remember, you only let bad boys hit this. You look tired. Like these boys got you running and ain't fed you no food. Like, they forget to hold you at night. Like, you caught between the crossfires of humanity and insanity. Like, you don't know who to trust, God or man. Like, you be more humane, pray for more fulfillment in your life, but the same thing you gonna hold on to this God whose name is even written in this chapter of your life. Do you ever tell your punk ass friends about me? The bitter fool. Do you tell him, first get him to wine and dine you, notice the small things about you, and just as he starts to say those words, I love you, you find the first opportunity to leave? Do you tell them about your power, your ability to watch your heart bleed, leaving a man with no clothes, all you left behind with a needle with no IV? Do you tell him that his body will ache a year for you? And not one time did you massage his pain, you just kept grabbing his wallet and kept spending. Then when he asked why things had changed, you explained that he was just convenient. Do you ever wonder why these men continue to treat you less than you treated me? Do you ever wonder why these men continue to degrade your fame? Do you ever wonder why the guy who wore jeans, Vans with the polo never once called you out your name? Do you ever wonder why they at her house at 3 a.m.? I guess now you the convenient one. He left you alone in these sheets, so you gotta be. To be honest, you really set me free. You were the virus to my brain flu. I never got to get this message to you. Now we both can have some clarity. I guess we'll call this bittersweet poetry. She keeps trying to fly side by side with her love, but she suffers from this broken wing. I mean, you women are so amazing. We even refer to you as queens when y'all match our definition of being a classic lady. But if I'm being honest, once rage reaches Independence Day, 7 p.m. sounded off sirens, a violent masculine tongue purging through her feelings, her compassion was stripped naked. He threw stones at her worth, forced her to walk for miles on top of blisters, holding on to prayer hand, praying one day to be able to fly again. He introduced her skin to bruises. Her weakness for him signed the adoption papers. She didn't realize that bruises grow up to become scars. She even felt the way to love him past his abuse, no matter how it made her look. I guess in her mind they sat in the cinema of dreams. Promising together legacy sculpted in love and success, but his envy. His envy to leave revealed his true identity, leaking onto her ambitions, draining the blood flow from her growth, her strength depleted. He begins to act recklessly, treating everything she worked for as if it was all just for the moment. After the breakup, she's left alone in a house full of children. The children continue to cry because they're hungry. Now she's painting the image of a mother shedding tears because she knows paying rent means her kids don't eat. Diapers and formula equals no lights for weeks. It seems like that punk-ass child support never has the right words to comfort her. Her breaking point, called early in the morning delivering news that her and chlamydia now share the same neighborhood. Her heart hardens. Men had gave her wings fatal swords. Men had gave her wings fatal swords. She refuses to ever try to fly again. She suffers from a broken wing. You are looking at the definition of needing a woman's touch. Can we first start with this overbearing pile of clothes I've been aiming to put away for years? I mean, I keep washing and drying off the dirt of my past, but I can't seem to find the creasing line to perform a perfect fold, putting away my clothes in the deepest drawers of my heart. Can she expand my mind on the details of deep cleaning? Like, remind me the parts I forget to clean. Like, sweep herself down from under the beds of my mind when I feel undeserving of her generosity. Whew. Y'all just don't know how amazing that woman is to me. Deep scrubbing my smile, mopping my tongue, rinsing my words in the pine soils of her feelings, disinfecting my mouth from vicious attacks against her. Ladies, don't y'all hate when us men blame y'all for our own self-procrastinated ambitions? Boiling pot of her fabuloso dancing across the interior of my nose. Her scent is as strong as her Saturday morning playlist when she cleans. Can she apply cool water on the grease burns of my wrists? Because I grew up ignorant, believing a man doesn't belong in the kitchen. Now I'm several steps behind. Several steps behind learning the recipes to feeding the butterflies beneath her stomach. She is quite an interior decorator. Her hands and forehead pressed against my window. Her eyes squint for clarity as she soul searches the inner king in me. Teach me not to be content with an open, damaged, blind view, but instead hang up curtains made out of evolving growth, made out of fabric stronger than the man I used to betray. Y'all, I'm serious. She is quite the interior decorator. Okay. Because so often my heart and mind can be in the same room and never match. She will have to start by repainting my plain walls with her spring colors of joy. Ordering furniture in sets of unconditional love. Rearrange my pride to make room for her warmth and tenderness. She may even hang a clock or a mirror on the wall to reflect the devotion she put into my character. I am the definition of needing a woman's touch. I've discovered ways to love you past your skin. When butterflies land in my view, I see your spirit in their wings. The different shades of you staying within the lines of your forgiving patterns. When you speak, oh baby, when you speak, goosebumps appear. Your tongue sing words that my heart will learn the words to. Your energy sets the clouds on fire. I never knew that burns could go so deep. My flesh flickering into ashes, casting off into your sunset. This may sound silly, but I imagine angels tuning in into the moments of our laughter. Our love is a marathon playing clip after clip. You are my world, hydrating large masses of water as civilization around us conquers uncharted territory, searching for all the treasures that you buried me with. I named each teardrop joy that my eyes gave birth to. My eyes reaching out for you as if they heard your heartbeat over 1,000 times. Running, leaping off the cliffs of my cheeks, holding on to peace. Because seeing the sight of someone you love is worth falling to your doom. It's worth falling to your doom. Thank you.
Someday we'll say all that we want to say, and we'll make it up somehow, some way. When you come back, I'll be here waiting. Sometimes I wish that you'd stop playing when winter comes. I wanna be warm when you're home. Our love, I know it's growing. We're good together, let's keep it going. Being with you makes me smile, and I haven't seen your face in a while, no. Someday we'll say all that we want to say, and we'll make it up somehow, some way. When you come back, I'll be here waiting. Sometimes I wish that you'd stop playing when winter comes. I wanna be warm when you're home. Just end there. That was called When You Come Back. This is a new song called Happy Ever After. There were clouds in the sky on the day that you said goodbye. Since we fight, and our pride would never let us reunite. Aching pains Let's see. So this next one is called Reach the Moon. I remember you and me when we had no cares for anything. We were young, but you had your dreams, and you ran so far ahead of me. Ahead of me. But day by day, I watched you grow. No one would have ever known that you would be a butterfly rising to the sky. Always fly until you reach the moon. I will still be looking up to you. When you're gone, I know the world will see you're a hero to live a dream. Yeah. I stopped looking at the sky and the word impossible flooded my mind. I should have never stopped trying. All the voices in the corner, they told me you're never going nowhere. I guess that became my reality. And through it all, you still stay strong. No one would have known all along that you would be a butterfly rising to the sky. Always fly until you reach the moon. I will still be looking up to you. When you're gone, I know the world will see you're a hero to live the dream. Live your life to grow. Though it might be slow, find your wings someday, and you can fly away. Always fly until you reach the moon. I will still be looking up to you. When you're gone, I know the world will see you're a hero to live the dream.
Hello, my name is Mia, and yeah, I'm coming to actually perform the poem that I performed at the Miss Juneteenth competition. And yeah, I would perform some other ones, but my mom's over there, and y'all know the rest. But shout out to you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and yeah. I'm too white for the black folks, and too black for the white. Living in this world, but I'm trapped between the lines. Don't know what I have to do or if I even have to choose, but if I do, I'll stand with my people in honor of the historical bruise. When they look at me, they see a color, like it's something we choose, getting beat and put under and always wanting us to lose. But that was until June 19th in 1865 when my people were free and no longer needed to cry. But then we see things still happen, that's not a surprise. George Floyd got kneeled on, they say he didn't abide. But when your skin is the weapon, where can we confide? I thought we passed the time where African Americans were left hanging. There have been many crimes. Like Breonna Taylor, she didn't deserve to die. Like it's illegal to stay in bed or to even go outside. Trayvon Martin looked suspicious, so he deserved to not have life. Just another white man choosing when we can have our rights. They call our protests riots, but what really ever satisfies their needs? Like raiding the Capitol was any better. At least we had good reasoning. You don't understand why Black Lives Matter, and you don't understand why we want the laws until it's you laying in the streets, moments playing on repeat, scared enough for your heartbeat. You don't understand why I don't want to walk or wear crop tops. You don't understand why I get scared and lock the door when a man walks. I'm not Tupac. Actually, far from it. Just because I'm black does not mean it's his music I am humming. You all hear me in this room, but you just don't understand. Being mixed, trying to fit in, I almost feel pretend. Thank you.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I am Miss J. And before I get started, I would simply like to say that I'm so motherfucking dope. And if you don't recognize my dopeness, by all means, baby, let someone else get high. There is no need for you to be in my mix fucking up my supply. Because I can't cut this dope. Y'all, this shit is 100% pure. So you can take me at full proof or take your ass over there. I can't front this dope, and I'm not giving out no deals. You can go elsewhere, but I guarantee it won't make you feel how this feels, and no, I'm not cocky. I'm confident. I know what I got. What I look like lowering my prices just so you can come and shop. So you tell me, what's it gonna be? Cause you can't sit here and get high off of me for free, but y'all not hearing what I'm saying. I said, I'm doper than ganja smoke that make you choke from the first toke. So fire, you get a contact high just from being around it. I said, I'm doper than dope that flooded the streets in the 80s. By the end of the night, I had you hooked on my words and call all y'all my little crack babies addicted to the spirit. So in love with my vernacular as I appeal to the masses like I'm cold switching y'all. I said, I'm doper than dope that Bobby and Whit was sniffing, but y'all not listening. I said, I'm doper than microdosing and you go on a trip. One that have you so in tune with the earth that you can feel the rainbow, taste the rainbow. And you know, the world looks beautiful from every angle. But, you know, if you don't smoke, that's okay. You wouldn't recognize this dopeness anyway. But I see a lot of y'all got some cups, so I just know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm somebody shot a Hennessy off the rocks with no chaser. I will not water myself down for the likings of your taste buds, so if this drink is too strong for you to be sipping, I suggest you find another that suits your palate. I will not apologize for how you ingest my adjective, nouns, and verbs because these words, they for my consumption. I pour these similes and metaphors into my cup because I know it's just enough to get somebody fucked up. I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm somebody's glass of tequila that makes their sunrise, and if I'm not mistaken, almost everybody loves the sunshine. And if you happen to be in that number who doesn't, that's on you. Because I'm still gonna do what I do, how I do it. I know I'm a tall glass of water, and I don't need validation from others to prove it. I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm somebody's glass of wine when they feel the need to be dined after a long day. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm somebody's Long Island or Jose. I'm somebody's Douce or Rose. Moral of the story is I might not be what you prefer in your cup, but baby, I'm just enough to get somebody fucked up. Y'all feeling all right? Yeah. So y'all, I always knew I was a snack. Yet, somehow, he seemed to convince me that I am components of a meal. Full course. Down to the side says I look sweeter than a plate of yams with extra syrup. Delectable to both his taste buds and his eyes. I always knew I was a snack. Yet somehow he seemed to convince me that I am something like Big Mama's cooking on a Sunday after a soulful service. She put her foot, elbow, and love into this meal. He made me feel like I was more than what was plated. Said that I'm enough to keep his palate and his taste buds elated and more than satisfied. Y'all, he looked me deep into my eyes and told me I'm soul food and he sure could eat. He said, girl, forget the breadcrumbs, you are the potatoes and the meat, and I always knew I was a snack. But he seemed to convince me that I am a queen and I am more than enough to satisfy a king. I am going to read from my phone tonight, and like Papa said, you know, he always giving shit about memorize your shit, poet. But this is a piece, I just wrote it. I finished it up last night. And as, you know, several poets got up here and said, October is a special month. And I've never been a survivor or a victim of domestic violence, but I did have to stand on the sidelines and watch my friend go through it. So this is a piece I wrote for her. She grew up watching her father lay hands on her mother, calling it love taps. So physical touch became her love language. Bruises and scars became her daily makeup, and belittlement became her affirmations. Each day she would wake up, I asked her, why would she stay? And each time her response was always the same. She said, I love him too much to leave, and one day I believe he'll change. Only for her to be stuck in repeated cycles of pain. I never understood her situation. But I couldn't stand to stand on the sidelines and watch her deterioration, waiting for her to come to realization that she was deserving of much more. It hurt me to see that he drained her of confidence and fed her insecurities. I prayed that she would pack up and leave, and day by day she continued to bleed from the hands of this demon who was truly a waste of space. Tears constantly fell from my face as I felt her pain. The disdain I had for him grew stronger and stronger, and the assaults grew longer and longer. Broken nose, blackened eyes. For rescue, her soul cried, but her heart and mind was manipulated to believe that physical pain is what love was meant to be. Generational curses needed to be broken as she spent her adolescent years listening to repeated degraded words spoken, violence, and domestic situations, while ignoring the signs that this road of supposed love would lead to the grave. But to his love, she was a slave. To his danger, she was far from a stranger, as she became his personal punching bag, as he took out on her the insecurities he forever had. There was freedom outside that door. Beyond something simple as a knob twist, but without him, she had lost knowledge of how to exist until that day came. A day in which she decided to take a stand and realize that the love of a man did not leave bruises and bloodshed. So she shed the cloak of blindness and began to see exactly who she was meant to be. She broke the chains of pain and vowed to never return to him again. And I thank God I didn't lose my friend. Thank you.
Roses are red, violets are blue. This is how I used to write poetry. How's it sound to you? I then grew into similes and metaphors, begging for stage scraps like a dog on all fours. Simply put, my abilities are what open these doors. So many comments about being the white guy on the bill. I earned my place out of passion and skill. Called the token white boy or the salty saltine, but I fucking worked for this shit and you still don't understand what I mean. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. Just trying to find a good rhyme. Stringent about my composition, just wasting so much fucking time. Exploring literary devices, trying to perfect my art. Progressing daily and daily from the start. To earn that title, wordsmith. That was my favorite part. Performing poetry permeates my personality, spitting spiritual soliloquies, focusing on the fixed point of infiltrating your emotions, relating, rambling, and reaching to receive your response, embracing emotions encased in the depths of my soul. Therapeutically and thoroughly theorizing my thoughts, painting pictures perfectly, portraying personal problematic perspectives, but no recognition until I finally said, fuck it. I broke my mold and went unfiltered. Providing you the rawest form of myself, breaking myself down to pieces on this fucking stage just to earn my place. The only time you will ever hear a repeated piece is based on a request. I will not be outworked. I earn every stage I fucking touch, and fuck the validation. I'll do this for me. Fuck y'all. So, being that it is, like many people have said, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I do have two pieces. Not many people know this about me, only the ones close to me. I myself was a victim of domestic violence. For 3 years, I put up with physical, emotional, and mental attacks. So I'm gonna kind of give a different perspective. I got out of it, and I'm significantly better for it. So I'm gonna start my next piece. These next two pieces are about my journey through it. I'm gonna start off by saying one thing. Never let anyone discount your pain. My world was enveloped by a narcissistic, gaslighting, and toxic individual, so much so it ingrained itself into my being. I had wounds festering so far beneath the surface I didn't even realize they were there. My bones broken and riddled with so much self-doubt, I felt like a light breeze would bring me tumbling down. Broken and beaten. Physically, emotionally, and mentally, a demon snuck their way into the cracks of my psyche and began draining me. A succubus of all the positivity in my life. I'm a grown man of a decently formidable size, but a 5'4" woman broke me. Domestic violence isn't solely perpetrated by men, but that's a whole other story. I want to talk about the shattered pieces of a man I was, and how I progressed from that. The hardest part about my trial was realizing my worth. This woman drained every happy, complimentary, or prideful word I could ever use to describe myself. I was fat, disgusting, lazy, and every synonym in between, and I weighed 80 pounds less at that point in my life. I was broke, insufficient, and incapable of properly providing, yet I paid every fucking bill and every goddamn tab. And I was so broken down and depressed that her manipulation convinced me that this hate is what I deserve. This is what I earned myself in a partner. That this was the best I could do. I was attacked more times than I can count, and I was going to spend the rest of my life with the wrong person, but that's not the story I'm telling here today. There's hope. There is always fucking hope, and you deserve so much more than you know, because I found my missing piece. And she found every wound, no matter how deep, and tended to them, cared for them, took care of them until they were healed. Her understanding of my past and my trauma is what bonded us. I no longer look at myself as a victim with no way out. My girl saved me. Because she is in fact a survivor herself. And she escaped her abuser, and she understood my pain. So if you have ever been a victim, or have you ever felt stuck, just know there is a happy ending. You just have to unearth the fucking warrior you buried beneath your abuse. And when those demons come knocking at your door, just know, me and mine, we're ready for fucking war. Fuck up. With that she shit. That's my twin brother, so I'm just giving him some shit. If he likes something, he goes, she, and I'm like, I don't, is that from one of the Tic Tac apps or some shit like that? I don't get it. Whatever. Yeah, it's ticking. So this last piece is another one. I've done it twice before, but I felt like it really fit the message. Still don't have a name for it though. So if you guys can think of a good name for it, let me know. Today, I found myself falling in love. The way this person's chest rose and fell while breathing, their strength shining through their blue eyes and the sparkle they had while laughing. Their overall thirst for life and hunger for adventure, every day to them was a new journey. Yet so many times they tried to give up. The moments that they thought they were just going to clock out early and stop moving, the days spent curled up in a bed, uninterested in anything, they were long gone. The pure sunshine radiating from their soul, I finally found myself in someone's smile. And I have to say, I'm truly head over heels in love. See, I fell in love with myself again. For so long, I was someone who looked in a mirror and I just hated what was staring back at me. I despised the shell of a man that I saw. I wanted to split these veins and see the fire ants of the anxiety come crawling out. I could almost see the sludge of depression oozing from every pore. So I slowly started to kill myself. But not my whole self, because I couldn't take my own life. I have too many loved ones that would feel at fault. But in all reality, they were the only ones holding me together when my patchwork fixes began to fade. I owe everything I have to them. They helped teach me that I didn't want to kill myself, but instead eradicate the parts of myself that I hated. So I started whittling away at insecurities until I became the splinter of the man I wanted to be. And from that small remnant, I planted a seed to grow into myself again, to fall in love with life again. I took what was broken and fractured and I used it to become whole, and I haven't been this happy in years. And it all started with a conversation with my mother. She knew that I needed help and hated to see her son spiraling, and at that moment I was in a tailspin heading for a wild crash. But she didn't want to see her son burn. I had the luxury of a mother who loved her son and could afford therapy. She saved my life with that very first session. My therapist began to piece together the existence that I thought was on the verge of collapse, and she was someone who saw the broken parts and immediately began to go to work. And I have to say, and this is the first time I've ever said this out loud, if it wasn't for the ones that loved me when I felt disgusted and unlovable, I wouldn't be on this microphone right now. I wouldn't have had a chance to fall in love with myself again. I would simply be a headstone plaguing the thoughts of my family. And my family has made all the difference. Thank you.
But if you read my tears, you will see that my eyes have been searching for you my whole life. Coming up next to the stage, we're getting ready to close the show out. We got our last two performers. We got our headliner that's going to come back up, and then Christiane is going to close everybody out. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to read that because I forgot to mention earlier he has a book out, A Year of Honesty. It's his second book, correct? It's a 2-time published author. So again, if you dig what you're hearing, please support these artists. It's hard out here being an artist, y'all. This life is difficult. But hey, shout out to Simply Sangria, shout out to Scott Victor, shout out to the people who allow us to give us an opportunity to do what we're doing. Keep your hands going, keep making some noise. We're gonna bring them on up. Back your headliner, y'all. Give it up for Bleed!
I also want to say, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on all social media platforms under Poetic City. Poetic City on all social media platforms. I know I was real loving the first portion. This portion we're going to get a little heavy, a little deeper, y'all. Throw the first stone if you ever lived your life without sin. Did anybody sitting here with judgment right now is simply irrelevant. Let's face facts. Not every action we do is heaven sent. We all got demons of our own. We too powerful to let church handle it. And if you don't believe in the higher being that I speak, well, maybe believe in right or wrong. But if you always live your life right, why aren't you helping others set the bar above their life? Instead, we watch them push with all their might, not to move beside the dirt under their sneakers. If wrong is all you ever committed, then why don't you surround yourself with change? Instead, we'd rather maintain a certain image and convince ourselves we have no hope of being a public figure. Everyone's trying to live a righteous story. But the only person you ever looked out for is yourself, then who the hell you expect to give your glory? If it takes 2 to produce, then why does the number of involved parents seem to be reduced? Women really been moving up the charts in politics, which is supposed to be an inspirational movement. But it leaves me confused because I would tell any little girl that she could go obtain her dreams. But instead we got so many grown women sleeping behind only fan pages for the finer things. A man that has to steal in order to function, I'll tell him, bro, guess if you swipe, that's the quickest you steal, it's the quickest you can give. Once you truly believe in giving over taking, the treasure you've been searching for will be revealed. And that's the how somebody trusts that you can build. Oh, people forever talk about how they circled and ran their city, but can barely speak to me about breaking out and unifying unknown boundaries. They'd rather remain in these firewalls of control, but I say, control has the limits, but limits don't know control. I mean, can't nobody tell anybody in this building right now what they're capable of. The mindset around this world is jacked up. We all participating in this shit. Let's call it an open potluck. I read the term hood in a dictionary. Guess what words is associated with us? Delinquent, punk, thug, troublemaker. Not one positive thing about our places. This has been printed on 1 million pages. I see why they refuse to give us a chance at friendship during the early stages. They slap labels on our names that mean our face based on where we come home to rest. Instead of measuring the purity that lies under our chest, we only live life once. We only live life once. This is just a test. So take your eraser and wipe away the assumptions. Then write what you really see. Is there really a difference between you and me? If so, throw the first stone. One thing that's very special about poetry and art is the expression of self. And it's therapy, it's the outlet for things we go through in our lives. And even allows us poets to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. Dealing with bullies can feel a lot like cobwebs. Annoying strings of personality caught into your presence. And no matter how much you try to remove his web, his character is too small to pinpoint and remove. Bullies are cowards. Grown-up babies searching for formula powders of self-love. However, their parents never seem to be able to make time to cater to their bottles. Bullies appear in school to have it all together. Holding my high school career above their head while their other hand grabs my face, transform me into the smallest man in the room. Their breath reeks with my insecurities. Their clothes remind my social status in my community. Their jokes have a way of pinning my courage and fears against each other. So many lonely moments in my bedroom. Resting my knees in the arms of my vulnerability. The peak of my knees drenched under the waterfalls of my eyes. Bullies gave me a lot of my first time experiences. The first time that I learned the term hurt can compare to bullets. No sense of direction, but will attack anything that they're targeted towards. The first time my smile learned that sometimes it has to try to fight back. Constantly being beaten to the point that they beg to shatter. The first time I was mad at my mom for not making Mike Tyson my father. At least I would have someone to hold the punching bag while I punch my miserable day right in the face. The first time I felt death so close to my heart because my friend rather traded his soul to the afterlife instead of enduring another day of bullying. If you're reading this letter today, I ask you to be a beacon of light in somebody else's life and say no to bullying. Thank you. Mentor, I've just been going through a lot at home. I know I've been missing a lot of school lately. To kind of give you a little insight, I was shooting bottles in the field the other day with my stepfather's gun. Every bullet convincing my dark side that the punishment for him shall be death. Shattered glass on the ground showing my reflection. I see the boy that's been beaten, tied up, and ridiculed and cries because he must return home. See, if only it was just me in this situation, I would run away from this nightmare while dream catchers dangle from my neck and never return to this fiery pit called assault. However, me and my little brother been caged to the childhood sentence. He slammed my brother's head against the wall the other day. My brother held his head dazed, and this drunk man with no reason, his heart beats inhumanity as he served me lash after lash to my backside. The belt was intended for my brother, but I refuse not to be my brother's keeper. I'm just so sick and tired of the picture on repeat of Jesus being split apart with every strike to my flesh, every strike to my flesh, every strike to my flesh. My stepfather standing there in his Roman gear as he swings his whip, his belt. Where's our mother in our time of need? She sits there high up with shame and guilt that turns her back to us. The cherry of her cigarette burns anxiously to drown out the sorrow and echoes of responsibility she chose to leave Mama. See, my little brother seems to think this should come around, but sorry, little bro, I lost my voice for that 3 years ago. I can't join no after-school programs or be dreamed about college upon graduating, because unlike Mom, I refuse to leave you alone with this beast. See, mentor, I know you're here to keep us on the path to doing right things, but lately doing right things started mutating to by any means, and I swear to God, if he touched my brother again, watch the spark of his own gun go towards him. Will it penetrate his evil intentions? Watch him fight for his life like me and my brother being victim night by night. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home, y'all. If I hear one more person speak about committing suicide, I'm going system. With 50 cal bullets made of their mother, their father, their daughter, their best friend, and every other person they just turned their back on. This disease is really sickening, and I ain't referring to suicide. I'm talking about this virus called sympathy. So if a lot of these bullets will destroy you, I hope you leave you so holy your light can shine. You'll be gripping this true sermon that suicide will leave you voiceless, motionless, or a mere quote, hope for the best. No, you will not be that ghost in my ear, a Lucifer, a fallen angel that has already betrayed me. I will not hold on to your words for better days because you left me alone to deal with life's scars down my wrist. And all this uplifting together started to sound like myths. It's a part of my language. But you selfish son of a bitch. And I don't feel bad saying it because I go through things too, but a life without you was never a drug I chose to use. You are my come-to. You are my high that lasted longer than monkey snacks and oatmeal pie. You are that hand that clinched my wrist every time I slipped down into the deep end. When my right lung couldn't breathe, you breathed into my left one. When my left lung couldn't breathe, you breathed into my right one. When my heart ached, you kept reminding me I need a blood flow from loved ones, you selfish son of a bitch. How dare you reject our testimony? We've really been through the grit and grind together. I gave you my last when I was hungry. You so damn selfish. How dare you want to go join the other side partying with the deceased? Separate our connection with glass walls, fingerprints and scratches from past souls, searching for a way back into our reality. You so damn selfish. So cease with these threats against your life because I can't give you my sympathy or my empathy. All I can give you is the honesty boiling up inside of me. The stings of regret that you, my brother, my sister, my lover, my best friend could ever choose a life abandoning me. Thank you. Who in here believe in the power of numbers?
Yeah.
Who believe if we come together, we can accomplish a whole lot more than doing it on your own? In the da-da-da-da, I just want my people to know, though we're not fully united, I just want my people to know. I've seen a lot of things. I've seen death in their eyes. Same niggas I grew up with not making it. Made a man like me want to cry. Cause I felt their pain. They didn't receive the same love I did. Not the same storyline. In the da-da-da, I just want my people to know. Not always physically, but mentally I see us as a whole. To all my brothers and sisters, I hope you got a home. And not just the roofing over your head, but a group of villains in your corner that won't leave you alone. Heroes rather fly alone in the community charging outrageous fees. I'm just saying, why heroes only flying over certain cities? In the da-da-da-da, I just want my people to know. If you ever need that one smile, you can count on me. I like your volcanic veins, heat from my love, boiling the pain. Like birthing from my hands, the script says a man, let's go provide with these hands. Like birthing from my hands, the script says a man, let's go provide with these hands. Greatness takes work, testimony takes healing, passion takes emotion, a real tale of sweat, blood, and tears being noticed. In the da-da-da-da, I just want my people to know. I'll be that guy in your corner when you're back against the ropes. Head on swivel, adrenaline pumping. Left to right punches coming. Your legs burning, now your feet stumbling. Calm down and pace yourself. Keep your guard up, wait for your attack. Enemy gon' throw punches, but they ain't phasing nothing. One solid hit back, now you got life adjusting. In the da-da-da-da, I just want my people to know. They didn't see your visions, but I invest in your legacies. Introduce you to the family, pair you up with more fruitful dreams. Then we be everybody's favorite jackpot that they chose to scratch off. In the da-da-da-da, I just want my people to know. Some of y'all flipping 2 ounces in the 4, 4 in the 8, 8 in the 16, count of a pound on real life using math. I say take 2 people and transform them to 4 ideals. Take 4 ideals and push them to 8 locations. Take 8 locations and mold 16 foundations. Now we built one large corporation. In the da-da-da-da, I just want my people to know. Though we're not fully united, I just want my people to know. Unity is valuing the people, not just what you expect from the people. Think about it. Thank y'all.
created chaos when I walked outside. People don't want to open their door. People just don't feel safe no more. Friends are dying left and right. Things get worse when we put up a fight. We hope for better, 'cause we hope for change. We speak, we fight, so we can live right. I pray, you pray, freedom someday. Sometimes I wish I could help every child in their trials. They remain a smile in the distance. I can see the light. Deep down I know everything will be alright. People suffer in the pain. We stay together through the flames. We hope for better, 'cause we hope for change. We speak, we fight, so we can live right. I pray, you pray, freedom someday. We speak, we fight, so we can live right. I pray, you pray, freedom someday.
Don't stop now, don't stop now.
This is my last piece.
I'll do one more.
All the clouds are gray. You're looking through the window pane for what's ahead. It's all about to change. Oh, for what's ahead. And now from a distance, I'll love you tenderly. And now that you're moving, just hold
One more song. Because I didn't get the video. You're like, I'm old.
That's it. One, just come on.
Once upon a time, the stars were shining bright. Something came to earth, falling through the sky. Rubble on the hill.